All right, we're going to start with a question from James Krupia from the Oregonian.
James, what's good, brother?
What's happening, Andy? How you doing? Wanted to go over several things in the secondary, so I'll try and keep it condensed. But you've got Jordan coming in. He played field safety for you. Obviously, with some of the departures and opt-outs, nickel's open. So what's kind of the pecking order at field safety and nickel, and how you want to go about handling that? And what impact does all of these moving parts have on dime, where you started to do that a little bit in the spring, but that was kind of relying on Thomas and Javon being there?
No question. So a big part of camp always is, working to develop dependable depth. And so what does that mean? That means building a two deep. Obviously, we've got to find the best starting group as well. So guys rotating in at safety and nickel to the field. There's going to be some guys competing. Jamal Hill's done an excellent job through the offseason and done a really, really nice job to start camp, as well as having guys like Verone and Bennett and J-Hap, and J-Hap's played nickel as well too. So there's a lot of guys out there that can do a nice job playing that position, as well as Nick Pickett. So we have some guys that do have experience. Some obviously a lot more than others, and the competition and the way they work together and put all the moving parts together has been really exciting. Now, as we move into the sub packages, as we get more into camp, we got to build our nickel and our base defenses first, and then we'll be able to move from there and find out really where we're at.
Next question will be Ashley Young from NBC Sports Northwest. Ashley?
Hey, Coach Avalos. Happy day 2 camp for you. Wondering if you'd give us a little profile on Jordan Happel and what you expect to see out of this guy.
Yeah, so obviously Jordan's an unbelievable young man, and very blessed to have him join us and obviously get his first day out there at practice today. The first time he jumped in there, I was doing something and I heard him make a call out in the field, and I it's been a little while since I heard that voice out there, being the quarterback back there in the defense. So it was fun to see him out there today, and there are some things that are a little different that he'll pick up and he'll learn, but he's tremendously smart, and he is very humbled to be here and very excited.
Next question, Matt Preem from 247 Sports.
Hi, Coach. Curious, what can you expect? What do you typically expect in year 2 of a defense? Like, a lot of experienced guys kind of know what it's expected of them. What are those growths that you expect year 2 of a defense?
Yeah, Matt. So number one, our mentality's got to grow. The culture of our defense obviously is got to be, it's always got to be growing forward. Our mentality's got to grow forward with the culture. And what does that mean? That's our operation. That's how we prepare. Guys understand what it means to prepare now, and not only to prepare, but to do it consistently. And those are the things you want to see in the growth in year 2. Year 1, guys are trying to learn and figure out not just the schemes, the defense, the fundamentals, the techniques, but also the process of how we prepare, whether we're in camp, whether we're in the season. And so now in year number 2, we would hope, that those have become habits, and we're going to continue to emphasize those things in our preparation so that the consistency will show. And then obviously schematically, from year to year, you're always going to adjust a few things. You're going to do some professional development. You're going to look and see, okay, we got to get better at these things. Hey, maybe we can add this, or maybe we don't need to do this. Maybe this player that is going to step in this year is going to be better at doing this. So we'll adjust some of those things, again, always to fit the personnel.
Next question, A.J. Jacobson from Rivals.
Hey, Coach, you walked away with one of the top defense recruiting classes in the nation last year, and you're integrating those, those guys into this year's team. But at linebacker, we had you as the top recruiting class in the nation, linebacker. What are your expectations, out of this young group, particularly at the linebacker position, these incoming freshmen?
You know what is always the hardest thing about playing as a true freshman is, number one, you're away from home. There's a lot of maturity that it takes. And so just helping them grow off the field and get used to their new surroundings, where they're at. We do have an advantage that, some of those guys did enroll early and have been here throughout the summer, off and on, obviously with the COVID restrictions that we've had. But on the field wise, we're making serious progress. We're making serious progress with a lot of the freshmen. Again, we've had a lot of time to Zoom and, the time during the summer that we've used, all that stuff all that stuff is paying off because they are doing a tremendous job, both the linebackers, the guys in the front, some of the D linemen, and obviously some of the guys in the secondary.
Next question, Ryan Thorburn from the Register Guard.
Andy, obviously you thought you'd have Brady and Thomas and Javon this year, and that, you know, with all the stops and starts and the abbreviated schedule and everything, they made a decision to leave. And then on the flip side, Yamador comes back. What were those conversations like, and how hard were those decisions for all those guys?
You know what? That's this year has obviously been that way, just in general. So this year has been a year of a lot of listening, a lot of conversations on a lot of different things, on a lot of different matters, and ultimately, you know, just with, like you said, all the stop and start, and it's at times guys are going to have to do what's best for them, and we love those guys, and we wish them nothing but the best. But ultimately, we're focused on who's here right now and the guys that we're developing to, you know, create the 2020 Ducks, and we're extremely excited about the guys that are here. And the 2 practices and the prep leading up to these practices have been phenomenal in terms of the positivity. Because let's just be honest, there's a lot that even outside of football that people have had to overcome in this year. And it's been our safe haven to come practice, to come prepare, to have fun, to be around each other. And so we're really excited. Now, again, the consistency is going to come with us keeping that energy every day so that we can continue to grow.
Next question will be Max Torres from Scooped Up.
Hey, Andy, thanks for doing this. I know we talked a little bit earlier about the linebackers in this freshman group. Just specifically with Justin Flo and Noah Sewell, you know, being on the field at the same time and kind of seeing that. Talk a little bit about how you kind of see them complementing each other in this defense.
Well, they're extremely talented, number one, right? And we see their physical attributes, their ability to move, their explosiveness. But the thing is, they're tremendously driven. They're some of the most driven young men that we've ever been around. And their football IQs are going to allow, in combination with how driven they are, to pick these things up, to be on the field, to play together. They both are 3-phase linebackers. Obviously, they can fit the run game. They both can blitz, and they both can cover. And that's what we're really excited about. It allows us to be multiple in a lot of different ways.
Next question, Eric Scopel from 247 Sports.
Hey, Andy. Question about nickel. You know, I know that's a spot that Javon played almost exclusively last year. Jamal was his understudy. Why is Jamal a good fit for that position? And maybe run through a couple other guys that could kind of fit into that rotation.
Yeah, Jamal was a backup nickel last year. So very, very much so. Body type, physicality, ability to cover, man-to-man ability to cover in zones, ability to handle all that stuff mentally. There's a lot that goes into that nickel spot. So Jamal is a guy that can play that position, as well as the field safeties. That's a transition naturally that allows us to play different guys at that position. And then another guy that's got a tremendous amount of work there too is Nick Pickett. So we're excited about building our best lineup and getting our best, number one, our best ones on the field, and then developing that dependable depth to give us our best twos, and then even working our way on from there with the threes.
Next question, James again from the Oregonian. Hold on, James. I'm having trouble unmuting you. One second.
James, where are you at there? What's your background?
Dang.
Slow down, Todd. Slow down.
Sorry. There we go.
Right,
There we go.
4 times. No, it's just it's the Manhattan Bridge in New York, Andy.
Sweet.
I just don't like people looking inside my house. To go back to the linebackers, wanted to ask you first about the competition at weak side between Drew and MJ in general, and if Justin can get in the mix there and how quickly. And also, if 4-3 is actually going to matter more this year than in years past, because with the short schedule, Stanford, Cal, Washington, even UCLA and Oregon State rely on a lot of multi-tight end packages, and you only have Wazoo and maybe a South Division opponent who's going to be a 4 or 5 wide set team by base offense.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, you hit a lot of valid points there. The young linebackers will work in they're getting considerable amount of reps with the twos. So yes, they are working in with those guys. We're working to find our best lineup, our best second team and beyond there. With the schedule that we have slated, there are a lot of pro style teams, as you mentioned. That's a very valid point there. And so being able to play against those bigger sets and making sure that we can handle and operate out of the 4-3 and do some different things will be a big priority, as well as being able to still work out a nickel. We played a lot of nickel to those teams last year as well. It allows us to be very multiple and play the whole playbook.
Next question, Matt Preem, 247 Sports.
Andy, this time or beginning of the year last year, Adrian Jackson was going to be a starter for you guys. Then he got hurt, obviously, missed the year. What does he bring to the table this season? And I guess another guy that's going to be a better year conditioned is Mace Funa outside as well because of his injury as a senior. What do you just kind of expect from those two guys for your linebackers this year?
Yeah, and there's no question. I mean, we're excited to have Ajax back out there. He's explosive now. His twitch and his speed is different. So and where he fits in, obviously, over there with Mace and being able to play and do some different things as well, helping at other positions will be awesome for our defense. He brings another dynamic, again, just in terms of his explosiveness and his speed. So we're excited about him. And, Mace is like having another coach out there. So.
Warren Williamson. Hold on. You should be good. Sorry.
Okay. Andy, good to see you back in the chair again.
I get nervous in this chair. It's always like big time deals when you sit in this chair right here. I like being outside with you guys, to be honest with you.
It fits you. Hey,
oh, man.
So with the shortened season and the virus and the eligibility rules different now, there's no really red shirt this season. Does that allow you to maybe take chances on guys and play more guys without losing their red shirt season? Does it give you a bit more freedom to kind of look at guys in game?
We've got to get everybody ready to play. There's just a lot of moving pieces, a lot of different things that we don't control that can affect who can be available. So right now we are trying to build more than a 2 deep. And that's where some of the younger guys that may, be in the threes right now, but we're trying to build them to always be ready to hop right into that second string. And we have to your point, yes, that was one of our first objectives that Coach Cristobal set out for us, as well as building our culture as strong as it's ever been, is building the depth of this team and building everybody and preparing everybody. And you know what, the coaches, we're excited about getting the opportunity to do that. And so we'll see. Obviously, it's not guaranteed that everybody's going to ever play, but we're going to do our very best to prepare everybody.
Next question is going to be Ryan Thorburn.
Andy, last year in camp, the offense talked about, having that veteran offensive line and obviously a quarterback, how they could do so much more with that experience. With your defensive line, this is those guys have been together for a long time, the starters anyway. Does that give you the freedom to do more things in camp, and how are they bringing up the younger guys along behind them?
Yeah, there's no question about it. I mean, those guys are awesome. It is a veteran group now. So, it still comes down to their consistency and them growing, and that's where we want to keep it for them. We want to make sure our focus is still to develop them, because they still have room to develop. The experience they have is unbelievable and it's awesome, but there are still a lot of things that they can get better at. How we operate consistently with our fundamentals and our technique, is going to determine how successful we are up front. And they've done a tremendous job relaying that message to the young players and trying to instill that into the young players. And we're very excited about the way those guys are working with their mentality and their attitude. It's unbelievably fun to be around those guys out there at practice right now.